Well, hello, happy Thursday, and welcome to Elegant Sentiments Today. I'm Sheryl Abernathy. I'm the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and this is our weekly card share number 81. And today we're featuring products again from Lisa Horton Crafts and Spellbinders. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I hope you're having a great day so far. Um, so for the inks that we have for the project, I've got three metallic inks here that I've used. I've got silver shine, sunshine, and Lovestruck. And then I have one matte blending ink in Tourmaline blue. So those are my inks. And then for the products, I have one of her newer embossing folders called Lattice. This is a 3D embossing folder. And I've got one of my absolute favorites of hers. It's a single Magnolia Stem. It's called Magnolia Stem. I've got the Layering Stencils, and I also have the embossing folder, but I guess I didn't bring that over here. I don't have it over here, but I do have the embossing folder, and we'll be using that. And then I'm got from Spellbinders, a product that Lisa Horton Crafts did for Spellbinders, a press plate called Script Text. And then I have, for my sentiment, I've got two plates. The Curved Everyday Sentiments. It's got two plates and a cutting die. And I love these because you can do a bunch at one time and have tons of sentiments. So um, those are the products that we're going to be using. And then I have my sample. Oh, here's my embossing folder. I know I had it somewhere, but this is the embossing folder for the Magnolia Stem. So let me move these things over. And here is the project for today's video. It is that Magnolia Stem, and I've done a little some embossing and some Bettepress for the background, and then ink blending for the flower. And you can see a little bit, if I angle it, you can see some of that beautiful shimmer that you get from that press plate. So that is the project. I did emboss the envelope flap as well. So there we go with the project, and I will go ahead and get started. The first thing I think I want to do is get my background piece done, and then I'll do the stenciling. So for the background, I'm going to do I'm going to emboss, and I'm also going to do the Bettepress. So let me get my Bettepress plate out. And this is an A2 size card. So we're going to use an A2 piece of cardstock, white cardstock. And I'll put my plate down. This again is the scripted text embossing or Bettepress plate, and you can foil or press with this, but I'm going to do Bettepress today. And I've got a white panel here, and I'm going to put my tape for this on the back side of my my A2 panel, because I want the whole thing to be covered. So as soon as I get this piece of tape, there we go. And I'm just going to tape that down onto, uh-oh, I got something on my paper there. Okay, so we have that gone. So then we'll just take the silver shine and ink up my plate, my Bettepress plate. I'm just going all over using a kind of a twisting and tapping to get nice full coverage on there. And I know it's really hard for you to see that silver ink, but it is on there. Okay. And then we will go ahead and flip this over and get it ready to run through my die cut machine. I've got a Platinum 6 here. Got to get my old plates out of the way, and then I'll just put my Bettepress in. And I want to make sure, yep, I'm completely covered. It's over to the side, but it's still covering everything. And run that through. And if everything works out well, we'll have a nice full panel that has been silver, that's got silver on it. So there we go, and you can see that nice pretty shine there. So that's all the Bettepress we're going to do. So I'll move this out of the way, and I'll do my cleanup a little later and get that moved. And then the next thing I want to do is go ahead and emboss this folder or this panel. So I've got my Lattice embossing folder here, and let me take that tape off the back of this panel. Don't need that anymore. And go ahead and just put that in. And on some of Lisa's folders, they have their, to tell which is the front. The newer ones, she's actually put her name on them on the front, but the ones that don't have the front, just hold it over to the side, and then you'll see that one side is a little bit thicker than the other, and that thicker side is going to be your front. So when the side of it matters to you, that's the way you would check to make sure that you're putting your piece in properly. So I've got that in there, and I'm going to put my plates back into my embossing machine, and I'll just run this through. Let me get my correct sandwich. I'm going to use just the platform base and then the standard shim and adapter plate for my embossing folder. So I'll put that in like so and run it through my machine. And I'll be right back. Okay. So there we go. And put these plates where they belong. Well, I could have actually left that on there because we're going to have to do some embossing and cutting later. So, okay, so now we've got our back panel. Our background panel is all done. We've got our Bettepress and our embossing done. So there we go with that. Then the next thing I want to do is start on my stenciling. So I'll bring in my tacky mat and my Ultimate 2, and we will get going with our stenciling. Again, this is the Magnolia Stem that we're working with today. It's one of my favorites. I'm always pulling it out because I just love it. And this has 6 stencils and a die in this set, an outline die. And so we'll just start with the first stencil and work our way down. And I've got a piece of paper already done, or actually it's just a oversized panel that I'll use. So because I want the entire flower and leaves, because I'm going to die cut the whole thing. So I just made a piece bigger than what I actually needed, because this is an A2 size card. And so we're going to get started with the first color on the first stencil. And for this one, we are using, I'm trying to remember. For this, I think I just did a really faint, I need a bigger brush. One of my bigger brushes here. And I just did a really faint color because I just wanted a really light. If you can see at the edge of these, I just wanted it really, really light, almost white. So I'm going to ink that up with Lovestruck, and then I'll take most of the ink off of my brush. And just barely have any color for that first layer there. It's some there, but it's very faint. A lot like I did one earlier in the week, I'll show you later, and I kind of used the same approach. It was a different set that I used, but the same approach to my inking. Okay, so that's it for stencil number 1. And then for stencil number 2, we're going to start adding detail to these flowers. And I want lots of color in the center on this. So I'm going to, at the base of the ones that are shaped like this, I'll start with the deeper color there and just kind of work my way up. But just get that nice and deep right there at the center and work my way out everywhere. We'll go all the way up, but just get a nice deep Lovestruck color there. And we'll do the same thing on this little flower. Get that deeper right there at the base, and then blend it out. And let that color fade out as it moves forward, or upward, I guess is the right thing. And then for the centers, the flowers that are facing that have the little stamen in it, we want those to just be really deep right in the center. And then we'll just let it lighten up as we go out to the edges, to almost looking white at the edges, but not quite white. Just a faint amount of color at those edges. We'll do that for all 3 of these flowers. I went down south, took a trip with my dad one year, and we went down to one of the Carolinas. I don't really remember which one actually, but it was so nice because I actually got to see magnolias growing in nature, and they are so pretty. I just fell in love. And I've heard that they can't grow here in Ohio, but I don't have any. And this one we're going to do kind of the same way. Get that deep in the center. And let that color just kind of drift out to the edges. I think that looks pretty good. We'll take a peek and adjust if we need to. Yeah, I think that's fine. So that is stencil number 2. And we'll move on to stencil number 3. And we'll start working on some of these leaves. Now, all the leaves are doing in Tourmaline blue. And so I'll just take this one, and I'm doing a couple different, these I'm going to do a little bit darker, and then the next stencil I'm going to be a little more light-handed when I stencil them, just a wee bit. Adding a tiny bit of variation, but not a whole lot on these leaves. I think another reason I like this is because it's just a really easy easy stencil to do. Not too many panels, and each panel is quick, so I like it. And darken that up a little. Maybe darken this a little over here too, a little more than what we got already. And here we're going to do the same thing. Get that nice rich color down at the base, right at where it's peeking out from the flower, and then let it be a little bit lighter, going out towards the edge of the leaves. And you can use different colors for the leaves to make a variation between them if that's your preference, but I just said we'll stick with this one because I like these two colors together. I think they're pretty. So things are starting to take shape. We're going to keep going, adding more leaves. This is stencil number 4. And you know, I think I'll just kind of keep that same approach. Just keep the leaves a little darker right where the flowers, at the base of those flowers, and then lighten it up as it goes out to the edges. And we'll get those stems good and dark instead of doing doing lighter and darker leaves. I'll just do it that way and see how we like it. And if we don't like it, we can always add more color to get the look we're wanting. And these are going to be pretty dark going out. And I need to I guess I need to push that up a little bit. I don't want to have it too much with the glare. But this flower is just so beautiful. I love it. This is one of my favorites. So I keep pulling it out. And I think, do some of the other ones. And I do. I do quite a bit. I try to add variety. But this is just one that I just go back to over and over again. And we have that. And there's so many ways you can color this, which is one of the things I think I like so much about it. Now here, I'm going to cover up these little pieces on the flower because I don't want those to be green. So I have to cover those up a little for the moment. And then I don't have to worry that my brush goes astray. And we're back. Now these are the folded part of the leaf, so I'm gonna get them a nice deep dark. And this color, of course, is going to lighten as the ink dries, but we want it starting out just nice and deep for these folds. Just go around and gather them all up. This tourmaline is it's a pretty bluey green. I don't know, my camera isn't the best, but I think it's showing up fairly true to color. Okay. So now I can take off the tape and kind of move it around because I want to add just a little bit of the Lovestruck again there. I think that's what I want to do. Or do I want something deeper? Let's go for, let me find, where is Rhubarb Jam? It's a little bit deeper. Let me grab a little small brush here and take a peek if this is what I want to do before I do it. Yeah, I think that's what I want. So I'm just going to put Rhubarb Jam on this teeny little piece here. And it's a little deeper color than the Lovestruck, but it's still kind of in that same family. So that is it for stencil number 5. And then here we go with our last stencil. And for this one, I'm going to, I think I'll go ahead and do the centers of, get some of these inks out of the way. I'll do the centers of these bigger flowers with a little bit of sunshine. And where's my tape? Get another piece. There we go. And then I'll just very lightly color those centers with the metallic sunshine. Okay, and then I'll take the ink that's left on my brush and just pick up a little bit of the highlights on the leaves. It doesn't matter. Well, I don't think I have, now I guess I need a little bit more ink on this brush than I've got. Put a little bit more. I don't want a whole lot. I just want just a really light inking on these accents on the leaves. Doesn't need to be heavy. Nothing about this particular one is heavy. So we'll keep it light and airy as much as we can. Grab a little bit more ink there. Okay, so there we go. That is our lovely little Magnolia stem. I just love that. It's so pretty. So many different ways you can do it, all different colors. But I love that color combination. So we'll go ahead and put that away. Look at our. Then the next thing I want to do is, actually I'll stick these on here and I can just take them out. I'll go ahead and die cut this piece, and then I'll emboss it, and it'll be ready to put on our card front. So we'll do a little bit more cleanup here. Okay, and then the dies come with this outline cutting die, or the stencils do. She used to have them with the embossing folder, and she changed it so that, am I on the right side? Yeah, I'm on the right side. There we go. And we'll just do this. I got some tape on there. Let me get that off of there and put fresh tape on. And then you just want to line this up so that it's even all the way around. I found this one a teeny bit tricky because it was, when I got one area right, it looked like I moved another area, but I think that's pretty good right there. So we'll put some tape down on both sides of this because I don't want it to shift at all. Trying to be careful not to, oops, now I've already shifted it, so not to get the tape onto our inking. This is really low tack, but I'd rather not have it ink. And so I'm going to take my scissors and trim just a little bit because this piece of paper that I use is a wee bit wider than my die cut. Not much, but. So I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Over here, I'll be right back in frame in just a second. Get that out of our way. And there is our piece. And I love this because it has just a small amount of shimmer to it in those little stems and even in the flower itself, which is a little nice surprise. And then the next thing we want to do then is take this piece and emboss it. So I'm going to change my plates again over here. And then line this up into the embossing folder. Done with those scissors, those can go. And again, looking at the thick side, thin side, so you know which is front. And we'll just line this up inside here to emboss it. And the hardest part is really just getting it right where you want it in all the places. And that looks pretty good to me. So we'll go ahead, I'll hold that down and run this through my embossing folder. Through my embossing machine. And we'll get some nice embossing on that. Dry embossing. And I'll hold that up. You can see how deep that embossing, well, maybe you can see, maybe not, but that's that. It's got some pretty nice embossing on it. And then it's ready to be added to our card front. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put it on our card base. I've done some homework already. This is the envelope flap. I did go ahead and run that through my embossing machine. And then for the inside, I took a leftover piece that I had when I did my first sample. I had extra. So if you want this strip, just use a bigger strip of a bigger panel, and then cut you a piece off for your inside strip to coordinate. And so I've done that already, and my panel now is ready for me to add it to my card front. We've already die cut, and we've already embossed it and Bettepressed it, so it's all ready to go. This is a really nice folder. And this is one that I like both sides. I like the emboss side and I like the deboss side. So you can pick and choose. But since I wanted to do the Bettepress for this, I opted to do the emboss side. But you could actually, since you do it after you run it through the Bettepress, you could do it either way, to be honest. So I'm just using my bone folder here to get that to adhere. And then I will take some glue and add this to my card front, because I like this. This takes the whole front of that card. And it's just lovely. So add some glue all around, especially on these little tips that might tend to want to pull up. And I hope you're having a good week this week. It's been a lot of craziness going on, unfortunately, but we do the best we can to keep moving. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then we'll go ahead and stick that down. About like that. Looks good. I want an angle, but not too much. Such a pretty folder. And then I have my sentiment that I already, I just took another one since I did that one pass through. I had lots of choices to add. So this one I'm going to put, I do sending prayers, to send to, have it ready to send to someone when I need to. And I'm just adding some foam strips, foam squares, actually little small foam squares. And I'll put a couple on either side, and that way I won't have to worry about that stem being in the way. It's a little stem, so you don't need a lot of room, but you just want to be mindful of that when you're putting these down. And just take the backs off over there. Okay, come on. Here we go. And one more. All right. And toss these. Then we can go ahead and add our sentiment down here. And I think that's right about where I want it. Not necessarily in the center, but it's in the center of the card, kind of. Okay, so the final thing that we'll do for this card is add a little embellishments. So I have some silver mixed color essential gems from Spellbinders, and these have two different colors of silver. There's the lighter silver and the darker silver. So I opted to go with the lighter silver for this card, and I just spread a few of the littlest ones just around the flower and those leaves where the leaves kind of jut out. I'll stick a few of them. I like I want it a little bit, but I don't want it to be over the top with the gems. And you could actually oops, it's not where I want it to go. You could actually omit this part altogether if you wanted, but I like a little extra, little bling on every card that I do. Let me get this turned around right. Put one there and one down here. And we'll do one more. I like having odd numbers. I'll put that right about there. So that is today's project. Again, this is the Magnolia Stem layering stencil and embossing folders, and then we got the Lattice embossing folder in there, and our scripted Bettepress plate, and our sentiments. So that's today's project. I hope that you like it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Please share my videos, and eventually one day, I just know we're going to get there. Don't know when, but I'm going to have enough people on here where I can do giveaways and that sort of thing. But I thank you so much for being here. I haven't been diligent in doing my weekly blogs, but I'm going to get back to that this week. And I'm here every Thursday, and every now and again I'll post in my Facebook group. So please join me there, like and subscribe everywhere. And I thank you again for being here. I hope that you have a fantastic week and that you get some time to craft a little kindness of your own. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.